Welcome to Basketball U. If you're new to Basketball U, make sure you slam dunk that subscribe button. And just to make sure you don't miss a thing, make sure you tap that notification bell right after you hit that subscribe button. Hey, Basketball U family, I see you are back for more. Always good to see you. And of course, if you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment about anything related to basketball, and we will respond if you are talking about something. Basketball is the ultimate game of movement, both with and without the ball. And unfortunately, proper cutting movement is one of the most undervalued skills in youth and scholastic basketball. We live in a world where everyone is in love with the long-range three and the thought process of, I have to have the ball in my hands to be effective or be engaged into the game. In all reality, we all can't have the ball in our hands, and there are other ways to be an effective threat without the ball. Why is cutting so important? Cutting does a number of things to cause havoc for a defense. It helps an offense get a player open. It also creates proper spacing, which in turn gives the offense enough room to operate properly. Cutting makes defenses pay attention to each player on the court rather than focusing on help defense. The most important thing cutting does for your offense is score buckets without running set plays. Teams should be able to score at least 10 buckets a game off cuts, even off of common cuts like the V cut, L cut, and back and or dive cuts if done properly. Players like Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, and even Rip Hamilton made a career off of reading a defense and then using appropriate cuts to get open. In order to be able to score off of cuts, there are a few things that you need to remember. 1. Being able to read the defense and making the proper cuts. There may be times that you need to set up your defender before going into the cut. Number 2. You need correct timing. Try to time your move so that you are open when you are able to receive the pass. Number 3, change speeds. This makes you unpredictable and difficult to guard. Number 4, cut hard. A quick, hard first step is key. Explode out of the cut. Number 5, have your hands ready to catch and be in position to shoot or be in triple threat position. Number 6, once you catch the ball after using cuts such as V cut, L cut, flash cut, or shallow cut, rip the ball through low and hard so you are in triple threat position. As you rip the ball through, swing your front foot past the defender's front foot and use a quick, low, and explosive first step to blow by the defender. You can also use the rip through to create space and shoot a jumper off the catch. The following will describe and demonstrate how you can score baskets with these 12 common basketball cuts. Number 1, V cut. The V cut is a common cut that is used by a wing player to get open against man-to-man defenses. There are 2 basic V cuts a player can use to get open: a quick or short V cut and a jam down V cut. When using the V cut, start with a few medium speed steps toward the middle of the court. Go no lower than the 3rd hash mark in the lane and then cut hard in the shape of a V back to the ball. When making the final leg of the cut, plant your inside foot hard and step off quickly with your other foot to your foot. Prior to making the final cut, you want your hands tight to your body but already set to catch the ball, so you push off your defender legally in order to help create space. If you extend your hands, it is an offensive foul. Once you catch the ball, rip the ball through and read what the defense does. If the defender backs off and you are in your range, take the jumper. If the defender is still in your grill after the rip through, attack the defender's front leg by getting your front foot past the defender with a low, quick, explosive first step. V cuts are best used on the weak side of the offense for an isolation situation. Number 2, L cut, up and out. The L cut is a great way to get open on the perimeter when starting on the low block. It is called an L cut because the cut looks like an L. When making this cut, you don't need to be quick, but you need exquisite footwork and use your body to hold off the defender. Take your defender up the lane, may go to elbow or cut it off short. Once you are ready to make the cut, get your top foot over the defender's foot and then have your body to nudge the defender, a slight nudge to create space. Have your hands ready as you cut out to the wing. Rip the ball through after catching the ball. If you created enough space through your cut, get ready to step into your shot for a jumper. You can also use the cut when starting at the high post by going down the lane and then out. Number 3, shallow cut. A shallow cut is a perimeter cut that is used when you are exchanging positions. It also can be used when replacing a player who has vacated his position by dribbling or passing and cutting. You can use this type of cut versus man or zone defenses. When using a shallow cut, you can make an underneath cut and then popping out to where the player was previously located. You can also use a shallow cut to relocate on the other side of the floor. For example, you are on the right wing and the point guard from top of the circle dribbles towards you. You make an underneath cut through the lane and pop out on the left side of the floor. Scoring options off a shallow cut are the same as if you used a V cut or L cut. Number 4, dive cut or basket cut. A dive cut is any cut toward the basket and will many times result in an easy layup for you or your teammate. Number 5, back cut. A back cut is used when you cut behind the defender, and it is primarily used when you start out on the perimeter. It is a cut that should result in a great scoring opportunity for you or a teammate. It is also a cut where you may have to set up your defender. You must have an explosive first step. You can use the back cut in a number of situations. Against man-to-man defenses, you can use back cuts when a defender is overplaying you or denying you the pass on the perimeter. You can also cut when a teammate is dribbling at you. In this situation, you may have to take a few steps toward the ball before making the cut. A great time to make a back cut is when you are on the weak side wing, when the ball is either up top or in the high post against man or zone defenses. The defense is adjusting to dribble or ball movement and preoccupied with helping or collapsing on the high post. Another way you can use a back cut, either weak side or ball side, is when you are in the corner and rub your defender off a teammate, that's a back screen, who is stationed in the low post. For back cut to be an effective scoring option, timing between the cutter and passer must be perfect. The passer must be an accurate passer. Let's talk about some players who really made a career out of scoring without the ball before we get into more options on how to score. Reggie Miller. Reggie was a master in creating separation through his maneuvering through screens and running around the floor. He will only really put it to the floor to create an extra amount of space to get a clear look at the basket. Richard Hamilton, also known as Rip Hamilton. Rip probably ran around an extra 4 miles a game on the court. Defenders definitely hated how elusive he was on the court with his ability to catch and shoot without being fully squared to the basket. Ray Allen. Ray Allen became more of a scorer without the ball in his hands later in his career, but wow, did he adapt in a major way, as his role as just a shooter won him 2 NBA titles. JJ Reddick. JJ has made a huge impact on the college game and the NBA with his ability to get high percentage shots when moving without the ball instead of settling for so much on the perimeter. His ability has seen him in the playoffs every year up until his past season while playing for New Orleans in the bubble. Kyle Korver, NBA journeyman who always adds a high percentage shooting to any team he has played for. His 6'9" frame allows to get it up right as he comes over screens, as he is able to shoot right over defenders. Klay Thompson. Klay showed the world how you really can score an unbelievable amount of points by only taking a total of 11 dribbles in the game, total scoring 60 points. I think there's a few clips out there where some players dribble 11 in one possession. Steph Curry. Steph really showcased his ability to move without the ball in college, where he single-handedly beat national ranked teams with his movement and shooting ability, which carried right over to the NBA, and the range extended less. Just say a little bit. After seeing the success of those players, let's get back to teaching some more cuts you can use to possibly be like them. Number 6, face cut, also known as front cut. A face cut is where you cut in front of the defender in order to be on the ball side of the defender. It is typically used in a give and go situation and generally results in a layup for you or a teammate. though there are times where a short pull-up jumper is available. Unless your defender is completely sagging off, you will likely need to set up your defender before cutting. A quick jab step or a couple of steps away from the ball should give you enough space to pull off a face cut. Face cut is a hard cut. Number 7, deep cut. A deep cut is a cut where a wing player cuts underneath the basket from one side of the court to the other side. The best place for the cutter to end up is either in the opposite corner or for a 15 to 18 foot mid-range jumper between the wing and corner. This cut is especially successful against zone defense because the defense often loses sight of the player cutting, particularly if they are preoccupied with the ball or other players. The deep cut can also be effective against man-to-man defenses. When making a deep cut, you can use your low post players as screeners by running your defenders into or off them, or during a set play, they can set a screen. Number 8, curl cut, also known as circle cut. This type of cut is where a player curls around a screener. It is one of the most effective cuts to get a shooter the ball in ideal position to score. A curl cut can occur anywhere on the floor from low post to the three-point line. In order for the cut to work, you must read the defender. If the defender is trailing, you can curl off the screen for the shot. The key to a good curl is quick movements and staying low around the screen. You must also come off the screen as tight as possible so that you don't take yourself into a help defender. If the defender tries to go under the curl screen or switches, the best option could possibly be the next cut, which is number 9, flare cut. The flare cut is very similar to the curl cut. The only difference is if the defender takes away the curl, you flare for a shot or drive. A flare is the pop behind the screener. A flare cut can also be used against zone defenses. Number 10, UCLA cut. The UCLA cut involves 2 perimeter players along with a player in the high post. It usually results in a layup for the cutter. It starts with the player on top of the key passing to the wing player and then going directly to the strong side block off of the high post screen. Number 11, flash cut. A flash cut is made by any player who starts in the post and flashes towards the ball in the high post. The cut involves quick and explosive movements. You have several options once you receive the ball in the high post. You can either pass it to a cutter or a handoff, kick it back out, reverse the ball, or rip the ball through and pivot to get in triple threat position, drive or shoot. And finally, at number 12, Larry Bird cut. This cut starts out on the perimeter and involves either a post player or a perimeter player who has the ability to post up a smaller player. The cut starts with the player on the wing making a quick cut down towards the low block. Once you are settled where you want to post, make a quick stop with your defender tight against your body. You then pivot, sealing the defender on your backside. After sealing the defender, space out to the corner for a 15 to 18 foot jumper. Remember, if you happen to forget about anything that you have just seen here, you can always run it back right here at Basketball U. Knowing where to get open in the game of basketball increases your IQ, making you very unstoppable when it comes to getting buckets. This has been the art of moving without the ball. This is Basketball U. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also follow all of our social medias right there in the description to keep yourself up to date, as this channel will have a lot of basketball, a lot of players, and a lot of training and more information on how to play the game of basketball. Remember, someone's always working. Are you?